I wanted to talk about your choice of coach because I think this is hilarious. If you guys don't know, Jackie chose Gwen when Reba was sitting right there, right? And I mean, it ended up okay. First of all, it did end up okay, but I just want to know how much impact did your daughter's bow have on your coach choice? Because she chose Gwen. You didn't choose Gwen. It was peer pressure, wasn't it?
It was an ongoing conversation because she knew she was going to come. And I was like, well, if they turn, who do you want to pick? And she just kept saying Gwen Stefani. So I kind of already had an idea but I was thinking she also kind of mentioned John Legend.
Yeah.
But it was never Reba. Reba was never on her list. It was like John Legend or Gwen, and she loved Gwen's music. Rich Girl was playing over and over again in my car to every freaking activity. So, um, I think it helped that Gwen was like, "Oh, I'm wearing a skirt, I'm wearing a bow," and I just let Leilani pick because to me, uh, my path was already written. So if it was meant to be, then it would be. And um, I was correct every step of the way. I knew
Yep.
when I walked into my rehearsal that Gwen was going to pick Bias. I knew that when we were getting on stage to do the battles, that Reba was going to save me, and I knew that I was going to make it to the finale. I just knew it because I was not going to allow anything else to happen. So
Amazing stuff. Yeah, I love that episode, man. It's so cool. One thing I wanted to I don't want to talk too heavily about The Voice. I know you've probably done a million interviews on The Voice, but when you're up there singing and you're doing a Gretchen Wilson song, who by the way I love as well. I'm sure you're a huge fan as well.
huge.
I grew up on Gretchen. I've seen her like 4 times. I know, big gruffy bearded guy, but man, I've been to so many Gretchen shows. But anyway,
Mm,
that's not the point. The point I'm making here is like you get like 3/4 of the way through the song and not a single chair is turned yet.
yeah.
What's going through your mind?
Well, I'll tell you exactly what went through my mind because I was just rewatching these, by the way, like 2 days ago. Um, and I just get teary eyed thinking about it. I mean, first of all, they keep you away from your family for about 45 days. So I didn't get to
Wow.
like really be with my family. Then I got to see them for about 10, 20 minutes before I was supposed to do the interview with them. So I'm like, I'm crying, my man's crying, my daughter's crying, we all miss each other. And then like an hour later I'm supposed to go on stage and sing, right? So the doors open up for me to go out and the first people I see is my daughter and my fiance, and I am like
Oh man.
emotional because I'm scared to death. I'm like, the first thought is, oh my god, she's right there, she's gonna see if I fail, right? Like I just get emotional thinking about it now because
Wow.
I was really that scared. And so I just like smiled and I dug my boots in and I just walked up on that stage and I'm trying to wave to people and they're like just stone cold facing me. And I'm like, dude, that's so rude. Like, give me a smile, you know? So I get on stage, the music starts, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna dig in. I start singing, they're not turning. I was like, okay, crap. I get to the port to the bridge, and I'm like, if they don't turn now, they're not going to turn. So I need to give them the most powerful. Like I don't usually growl that heavy. I
Yeah.
do a little more tapered back, but I was like, I'm going full force, full Jacquie Roar, and I gave it to them. And my eyes were like kind of closed, and then all of a sudden I opened my eyes again, and Reba's turned around, and I'm like, because you don't hear the noise, by the way.
Yeah.
What you hear on TV where they go, psh,
Yeah.
you don't hear that at all. So, like, then I saw all four of them facing me, and I was like, oh my God, and
So what's
I had
that
a friend.
like? What's the adrenaline like then? How are you able to finish? Because like you go from this almost depressing state of emotion to just extreme, holy crap. I don't know how
It
you
was.
continue.
It was a roller coaster of emotions, but the adrenaline kicked in once they turned around, and I didn't have that doubt in my head anymore. I was like, holy crap, I made it. And I got a four-chair turn. Like, let's finish this bitch off
Yeah,
with a high
yeah.
kick. Like,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's give him a show. So I just went in, did my little kick thing that I like to do. And then, of course, my earring falls out. And I'm like, "Ah, dude, I'm not going to freaking sit there and pick up my earring and put it in. Like, that's so lame." So I just like tore the other one out and I threw it on the ground. And I was like, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, incredible
And
stuff, man. Yeah.
yeah, Reba loved that. And it actually happened again. My earring fell out during another taping of her and I, just Reba and I, and she was like, "Girl, your earrings." I was like, "I know they don't want to stay in."
Good stuff, man. Yeah, I just I watched your entire journey, and those are the kind of the things that stuck out to me and make you unique in your journey on The Voice. I've had a lot of folks on the show from different shows, and would you do it the same way again if you could go back?
I've honestly thought about that. It's so funny that you're asking me that. I've thought about it so many times, and it's like, okay, if I would have gone with Niall, I probably would have had to go up against Huntley or, somebody that was in that rock and roll range like me, or Nene. And if I had to go against Nene or Huntley, I don't know. I don't know if Rebo still would have saved me,
Mm-hmm.
because it also depends on the song choice. And Niall had a different song choice. He had a different view of who I was. He wanted me to be like more rock and roll, as he said, like Aerosmith and Lenny Kravitz when he was talking to me. So I think that I've thought about it 7 ways to Sunday. I've thought about Reba's song choices that she gave her battle people. And I think that Gwen, even though Gwen didn't pick me, I think Gwen knew the right song for both Bias and I. Um, and although Bias did have the upper hand because it's a male song and it was in his vocal range, um, I think it was perfect for both of us. And Bias killed it, I killed it, and it was just a great partnership because Bias and I were already friends,
Yeah.
so we weren't competing, we were doing it as a duet.
Yeah, it wasn't like somebody lost, right? I mean, you guys both were
Yeah.
awesome, right? It just so happened that somebody had to go on and somebody didn't, right?
And I bet him too, because he was, having self doubt, as we all do once we're about to go in. And,
Yeah.
you always think that the person that you're singing against is better than you in some way. It's like, I know that Bias can do all kinds of runs. I can't do all kinds of, I mean, I could if I practice, but I don't practice. So I don't. He could do all kinds of runs and flips and all that stuff. And I was like, dude, he's going to kill this because
Yeah.
Gwen's like in love with him. And he's thinking, no, Gwen just is tricking my mind. She's picking you. And I'm like, no, dude, I bet you $100 that Gwen's gonna pick you and Reba's gonna save me. He had to pay me that $100 because he bet he shook my hand. So
Awesome stuff.